Man, you really got the spooky part down, don't you?
The spooky part, yeah.
You.
You're good, you.
Ah.
You're good, you.
Welcome to another episode of the Nick and Dan Show. Nick, Dan, we don't fucking care. Hey! Dude, not right now. Enough. But it's our third week in the Halloween season, and we've decided to play another Misfits song because...
Why not?
Misfits.
Yeah.
Halloween. They go hand in bony hand.
Practically writes itself.
Right, Carl, I'd hold your hand if you were in a disgusting mess. I resent that. I don't care.
Plus, small hands.
Right, it's just like a child. It's so strange. But anyway, Dan, should we play them some music?
I think so.
Excellent. Here we go. Before we continue, just want to remind you to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. That way you keep up to date with all the cool new videos coming out weekly from Exham Priory. When we coming in?
I think we're coming in. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful song we worked on.
That's right. Welcome to another episode of the Nick and Dan Show. As we mentioned earlier, Nick, Dan.
Same clothes. Same night.
Oh! And Carl. Yeah, you don't want me to talk. That's right, we don't want you to talk, Carl. But it's another wonderful, wonderful week in our Halloween season, ladies and gentlemen. Next week is the big week. You found my little friend.
You little pumpkin.
I've actually had that since I was a little bitty kid.
So you've rubbed your dick on it?
I have not.
I don't trust you.
That's probably a smart move.
All right, then.
But this month we've been doing covers that are Halloween-y, that are also written by the Misfits or members of the Misfits, because, again, they go hand in bony hand.
Pretty much.
We've also been talking about horror movies.
Yes, sir.
Now, last week we talked about It from Stephen King. Great movie. But this week, Dan, I'm currently in the mode I'm watching like all the Halloween movies. I'm gonna get into the Friday the 13th as well because we've got one of those in November. All the old classic slashers.
Yes.
And really just the general horror movies, to really set the stage for today. And something I know, like the same thing's always happening in every movie. The horror movie tropes. Now, folks, those of you that don't know what a trope is, it's kind of like that cliche, quintessential thing that always happens in every movie of a certain genre.
Dare we say stereotype?
We could say stereotype. We could. Why would you say something so controversial?
Well,
That's
if you want
brave.
to talk about stereotypes, there's Sony and Sanyo and Pioneer.
There are those. You dick. You dick. Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Well played.
That's why I'm here.
But let's talk about horror movie tropes.
Let's do it.
So things that always come up in every horror movie, things maybe you shouldn't do or whatever. Anything jump to your mind immediately, Dan?
If it's a stormy night, don't have sex.
Don't. In fact, in general, don't have sex if you think you might be in a horror movie. It's not going to end well for you at all.
All right.
We could take our cues from Kevin Bacon, Friday the 13th Part 1. Got laid in cabin while it was kind of raining out and got a spear right through the throat.
Yep.
Which brings me to my next point.
Bacon on a stick.
Don't have sex in a cabin. In general.
There you
So
go.
just stay away from sex in cabins out in the middle of the woods when you're all by yourself. So these are obviously important things. You guys, I really hope, are taking notes. If you're not, shame on you. And if you think of tropes we don't mention, throw them down in the comments. So maybe we could talk about them next week.
Right down here by our feet. We'll kick them.
Somewhere, yeah. Yeah. Stomp it on the comments.
There
Get
we
them
go.
down there.
Stomp it on the comments.
All right, so we've generally come to the consensus that if you think you're in a horror movie, sex, not the best idea for your long-term health.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
What else have we got here?
Well, I'm gonna, every time some asshole in a horror movie picks up a flashlight, it works for like a second. So
Fair.
I'm gonna say, if you think you're in a horror movie and you go to reach for a flashlight, check for extra batteries.
Always have extra. Now, would you recommend, double A's, triple A's, D cell, C cell? Like, which ones would you grab if it was you?
Depends on the size of the equipment you're running.
Ah, fair. That's a fair statement right there.
Chances are, if you're in an old creepy cabin in the wood, it's gonna have the, the ones you got at Rite Aid.
Right.
The
So
bright blue or bright red ones with the D cell batteries.
gotcha. In fact, if you're in a horror movie, a sack of D cells probably isn't the worst thing to have on hand in general.
Hell no, you could put them in a sack and beat them.
That's right. Or you could power your old school boombox. It's probably going to use all of them. Or,
Absolutely.
again, flashlight. So, another tip. Have a sack of D cells with you at all times.
Satchel of D cells.
Satchel of D cells. A
Satchel
satchel
of
of Ds.
Yes!
Boom! Beautiful!
All right then.
Alright, so always keep some batteries on you.
Yeah.
Next rule to survive a horror movie. Never, ever say, I'll be right back.
Oh, hell no.
That's a terrible idea. You're practically signing your death warrant right there. But
Absolutely.
also, let's not just stick to I'll be right back. Other things like, hey, I'll be back in a moment. That probably also isn't a good idea because, if it's a monster serial killer, they're not going to care.
Nobody died, but we could throw in the phrase, let's split up, gang.
Right. If it was a real horror movie, I feel like half the Scoobies would be done.
Oh, fuck.
Absolutely done. Now, who do you think would come out the survivor at the end?
I'm going to have to go with Velma on that one.
Velma, soaked in blood, screaming in the middle of the road.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, so if anybody ever decides to write an actual Scooby-Doo horror movie, first off, good luck getting the rights. But second of all, feel free to take this tip right here.
Yeah. Now, the key phrase was Scooby-Doo horror movie, not Scooby-Doo fan fiction porn.
That's right. Very different items. Don't Google the one unless you want to set your computer on fire because you'll never get that out of your history.
It's not as bad as the other things we've Googled,
That is true.
which we are not going to mention here.
No, we are not bringing back It's a Thing because I'm still scarred from that.
Absolutely.
But okay, so we've got don't bang pretty much anywhere.
Nowhere.
Don't always have a satchel of D's on you.
Satchel of D.
Always have a satchel of D's. Don't say the key phrase or similar, I'll be right back.
True.
So those are a couple of horror movie tropes. What else you got?
Well, I'm going to throw it out there. You go for the weekend with your friends to this little creepy camp.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to bring the cooler full of booze and the bag full of drugs.
Okay.
Don't do it.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
You're going to die.
I won't know.
All right, then.
But fair. Okay, so clean up the act a little bit. Gotcha. Would one beer kill me?
It might.
Ooh. Damn.
I mean, it's a dangerous world out there. Play it as you want to.
That is a difficult one right there, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would nicotine qualify as a drug? If I'm smoking a cigarette, am I still in trouble?
I'm going to let that one slide, I think.
All right, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Okay, so steer clear of the substances that most of us enjoy when we're out doing things.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying it's going to be a really fucking drab weekend.
Somebody brought Scrabble, you're going to have the time of your life.
I mean, I like Scrabble. That's a good game. All right.
For a
It's
couple hours.
looking better. Yeah, you're right.
But when
After
Karen,
that, though,
when Karen starts, let me tell you about something about you that you don't know,
oh,
that
God.
conversation comes up, then you become the killer.
Great. Terrific. So don't be a Karen.
Don't
There you
be
go.
Karen.
That's another trope right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you mentioned the previous one, you're going to camp. How about this? Don't go to camp.
Ever.
Ever. It's a bad idea. Bad things happen at camps.
True.
We've got Friday the 13th, most of them.
Yeah.
You got Sleepaway Camp and all of its sequels. There were so many sequels for Sleepaway Camp.
So many sequels.
But like those right there should just tell you, don't go to camp. It's not going to end well for you. You're going to die. Now, I have noticed this though. There's an exception to that rule. If you're a little kid, you don't die when you go to camp.
You just get touched. Sorry.
So your choice. But if you're a teen, or if you're a camp counselor,
Oh, you're fucked.
you're fucked. It's done. It's over. You're not going to make it through to the end.
Yeah.
All right. So don't go to camp. So let's run through this again so far.
Oh, God.
So we've got don't bang. Always have a satchel of D cells on you. Don't go to a cabin in general in the middle of things.
Pretty much.
Never say the key phrase, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to camp.
You already said that. So we're going to go back, circle back around to no drugs, no substances.
No substances.
Because that's why.
Got it. You're saying alcohol affects the memory?
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember that in a few minutes anyway.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one in particular, this is a single instance, but I'm going to have to throw it out there. Don't dress in a giant banana suit.
All right. Now, is there a particular movie that you're thinking of with that?
I can, and I cannot think of it right now because you put me on the spot because you're an asshole.
You're welcome.
But it comes with the phrase, "Follow me, banana!"
All right, so hopefully he remembers that in a few minutes because I'm curious. In fact, no, it brings us to another point. It's a one-off instance. Going back to Friday the 13th, part 1. Don't eat a banana.
No.
There was a girl just sitting on the side of the road, mowing down on a banana, not hurting anybody, gets killed. No other reason, just chowing down a banana.
So no bananas.
Stay away from bananas in general if you think you might be in a horror movie. Now, if you don't think you're in a horror movie, bananas are delicious.
They are.
But again, you never know when you might find yourself in a horror movie.
Dread Island, something like that?
Dread Island,
yeah.
all right, from something lizard.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Captain Pete, I don't want to say, or something like that.
There we go. Don't dress up as a banana.
Yeah, no bananas.
Speaking of islands, if you ever get invited to a creepy island by some distant relative or third cousin removed or just some random, don't go.
Or a mansion.
Or a mansion. Don't go. If there's a challenge, if you stay here through the night, we're not going to tell you what the problem is. Stay here through the night and we'll give you $1 million.
Going back to House on Mountain Hill.
Boom.
I like that. We call that a callback, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Wheel it back to a previous episode. But yes, don't go. It's not going to end well.
No.
Or if something's chasing you, don't run upstairs. There's no place for you to go.
No, definitely not.
Unless you want to jump out the window. In every movie I've seen that's done that, you get hurt.
It ends terribly.
Right? It does not end well. You're going to be limping. They're going to walk up and just stab, 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 and it's over.
For that matter, if you hear something creepy or something scares you, don't go running to it.
Right. Go in the opposite direction. So you're saying
Turn around and walk away.
Right, just leave. You know, just be the adult about it and go the other way.
Absolutely. And while you're leaving, if you're going towards your car, if it's running, just hop in it and go.
Boom, out.
If it's not, hold on to your goddamn keys.
Right, and if you happen to have a weapon, maybe throw a bungee on there, wrap it around the wrist, because eventually you're going to trip and fall, and it's going to go flying across the room, and then you die.
Chances are it's going to bounce off the floor and cut you.
Right, I mean, if we're in a horror comedy, then definitely that's a chance. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, these are just a couple of tropes we've seen in horror movies, trying to help you, if you find yourself in one, survive to at least, I don't know, what would you say if they followed? They're at least going to make it to the last quarter of the movie.
Yeah, but the ultimate goal is to be final girl.
That's right. If you're a dude, you're out of luck.
You're fucked.
Final girl only. And ladies and gentlemen, that's another week. We'll see you next Saturday. Peace.